Douche awareness.
Douche awareness, yeah.
Zach's a super big douche. He just knows it.
Yep.
I'm a medium douche.
Medium awareness. Major douche. No, high level douche. Medium awareness.
Medium douche.
He can't even defend himself back
No,
there.
he's not like, Ian, turn that mic off again.
This is about control. Everybody knows. Everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros. I don't need a plane. I just hit the road. I do what I want. I can't sell my soul. Market about to crash. This is what you chose. Ruining the country. I think that's the goal. You gonna take the mark. I take never rolls. I'm a man of God. I can never fold.
Let's get this thing started.
Welcome.
All right. You ready to go, buddy? Welcome to the Protect Your Purpose podcast, where we talk whiskey, business, friends, family, and freedom. I'm your host, Matt Marchese, and this is my co-host, Zach Grady.
Oh, you're the worst, dude.
What?
You need to come up with something better than that. Maybe not right now. Next time.
Okay.
Think about it beforehand.
And a co-host today, a guest host today, Daniel, or Danny Thompson, depending on what part of his life you meet him in.
That is correct.
Today he is
For all
Danny
of
Thompson, and welcome to the show, my dude.
Thanks,
welcome.
guys.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for sure. We'll start off real quick. Danny, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
Yeah, super interesting, right? I've lived here in Omaha for all my adult life. My brother and I have a window replacement company here in town called Window World. So we do residential replacement windows, siding, any kind of door you can put on your house, anything on the outside of the house except the roof. We'll do roofing later. So
Oh, really?
on the professional side, that's me. It's so, small business owner. Never thought I would be on the pathway that I've been on. I went
Sure.
to school for something completely different. Graduated college finally after enough time to have a doctorate. But
When?
I went to Iowa State. Graduated high school. I'm 38. Graduated high school in 2003. Was at Iowa State for way too long.
Are you
Finally
a
got out of there. And
Are you a
I'm
cyclone?
a cyclone. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Clone to the bone, baby.
I did not know that.
Clone to the
before
bone.
we-
Otherwise,
Otherwise, I wouldn't have got the invite.
yeah, you wouldn't have got the invite.
Next
Will I get
guest.
a second glass?
Yes.
So yeah, I spent way too much time in college, horsed around. I was a terrible, absolutely deplorable student.
A lot of people go to college for 10 years.
Yeah, they're called doctors.
doctors. So I finally get out. I graduated with an MIS degree, which has nothing to do with what I do now.
What the fuck is an MIS?
You might go into is you're a liaison between programmers in a larger size business, programmers or developers.
Sounds fucking lame.
I'm not using it at all.
Yeah.
At all.
No, listen, man, most of us don't use any of the degrees. I'll get into a story later
Yeah.
about my degree, but anyway, go on. So you and your brother
Yeah.
own Window World. Window World is a franchise?
We are a franchise. We're corporately based out of North Carolina. There's about 250 locations nationwide now. We're in
Okay.
every state except like Montana and Idaho, I believe. It's a really great business model. It's something that we kind of fell into in a way, and I can talk about that as much or as little as you guys want to.
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's been definitely an interesting journey for he and I. And but we run a team of about 20 employees and around 30 subcontractors, and it's insanely rewarding. It's really neat to be able to build a team and lead a team and have a second family that bleeds for
Sure.
your baby and what you believe in, and it's special. It's very special. So I'm blessed.
How long have you been in the business world total before we go into Window World?
That was
your
really
first
my
business?
start. Yeah.
Nice. How long ago did you start?
In 2008, I needed an internship really. Speaking of being a terrible student, I needed an internship. I needed something to pad my resume. I thought I was going to go work for Caterpillar, John Deere, Wells Fargo when I was at Iowa State. Went to all the career fairs, and nobody wanted to give me a shot, understandably, because I didn't have any experience. I was jacking around.
And you were a shitty student.
I was a shitty student.
Yeah.
I really was. So I wasn't getting looked at, and I was going into my final year, my fourth senior year. And my mom and stepdad actually started the Window World franchise in Omaha in 2001. On 9/11/2001 was their opening day, believe it or not.
no shit.
Crazy. So they started Omaha and about four other locations on that day. So 2008, I was like, hey, mom and Mike, is there anything you can put me to work on so I can have something on my resume?
Sure.
So they threw me I was in kind of an IT degree, so they throw me into
IT. That's what that
IT.
fucking degree meant. Why didn't you
basically,
say
I really
shit, bro?
I really overcooked that.
Yeah,
didn't I?
you did. You tried to make that sound way cooler.
Don't try to church it up.
IT. Okay.
Justification.
I got it now. Go on.
My pocket protector.
I got it.
So-
trying to make yourself a little less of a
nerdy.
fucking nerd.
Yep.
Got it. All right.
You
Let's do this.
You sniffed it out. So
family.
yeah, so family. It was a family thing. So in that regard, it was. I mean, that was our toe in the door. My toe in the door. I started out. I overhauled the website, all their IT infrastructure, and then pretty quickly got involved in HR and some of the management side of things. And I worked for them for 2 years. 2010 rolls around, 2011. They'd done it for a decade. They were getting burnt out. It'd been a good ride, but they were wanting to get out of it.
Sure.
They approached myself, my brother, and there were probably, I would say, 5 or 6 other ownership groups. And these were people who were at the time managing some of the other locations. And they said, we'd like to piece this off and sell these to you. Quite honestly, I was pissed off at first. I thought we had a really good thing going. We had just kind of gone through this big overhaul. We had really cleaned up a lot of the processes and infrastructure. And I was like, why are you blowing this up? And I didn't even look at it as a potential amazing opportunity.
Yeah, because you're a dumbass.
Yeah, I was. I was.
We all were. I get it.
I was blinded.
Yep.
And so, at first I'm pissed off, and I think, Bryce and I go and talk about it.
Bryson's your brother?
Yep, Bryson, my brother. Yep, younger brother, 4 years apart, best friends. It's amazing getting to work with your best friend every day, your younger brother. He is in charge of all of our sales staff and installers.
Okay.
And he kicks ass at it. He's
Operations?
He's operations.
Okay.
Yep. I'm on the back end. I handle, excuse me.
Take your time.
Ian, cut that.
Yeah.
Ian, cut that part out. Yeah.
There's no farting on this either, right? I
You can fart.
heard that you can't talk about farts.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that will
the
get
fart
you
episode. That's right.
We just won't sell your farts. Lindy's are the only farts that we sell.
Oh, I
those are the
cannot
good
believe
ones.
we're still talking about my wife's fart. She's going to love this episode. All right, go on.
Even
Sorry.
when she's not here,
So,
she's here.
He's operations, but
Yeah.
sales and production.
He's operations. I handle anything that's vendor related that is not production. So anything non-manufacturing, doesn't have to do with installations, sales. So HR, IT, the books. And that's really kind of where my home base is. And I think that's so important with any business. You have to have somebody who's either invested in is in it every day, all day.
Yeah.
Looking at numbers, or you have to have somebody that you trust with your business.
Yeah.
Or with your life.
Dude, we were just talking about this
We're
shit
literally
earlier.
just talking
with
about
money.
it.
Yeah.
No, just the dynamic of business partners.
All right, couple things. We
Yeah.
got started for our audience. We got started talking off camera before we started the show. That's why we already have drinks in our hands. Zach, what the hell are we drinking today?
1792.
Here,
Foolproof. It's amazing. That's
It's,
actually
Gretna Wine and Spirits approved.
yep. That's
Delicious.
actually their barrel pick.
It
Correct.
is really good.
Yeah, it's bomb. It's a really great. So cheers to this.
Yes. Thanks for
Uh,
having me on again.
And to new welcome to the show. We just met.
Quite literally.
Quite
Everybody
literally,
just
everyone
met.
did. We just talked about this right before you got here.
Okay.
I think Ian maybe posed the question. We were talking about actually my cousin and one of my dear friends, my best friend. If grown-ups have best friends, I guess he would be mine. Kunkel, you may know, Stonebrook Exterior.
I don't personally.
Yeah, so he's
heard the name. I have
he's
heard
a
the name.
competitor of yours, kind of, not really. He's got a massive company now, and he's moving into general contracting. He's doing big shit. Anyhow, we were just talking about his partnership. He's got a partner as well in business, and I had a former partner. And I think Ian, you asked, or Zach, one of you
Ian
did.
asked.
Yeah, I asked just dynamics of how partnerships either work or fail, and just like what lessons learned and stuff like that through the.
So it's kind of funny you literally led right
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah,
And literally talked about it for like 30 minutes.
yeah. And so where I landed on that is, if you take out, not to be petty, but if you take out the fact that he was a piece of shit as a person, which is why it had no glue. But my old business partner and I, the reason why professionally it didn't work was because there was no way we were going to establish roles that were separate from each other. We were way too much alike in our strengths and probably our wishes in addition to that. we were going to hold the same position and not have separate roles in the company,
that's tough.
or one of us was going to have to give, and it wasn't going to be either of us, I assume. Because those roles, in order for success, not only in a business relationship, but we talked about it on our last episode, or one of the last episodes with
Relationships. Yeah.
Any relationship, dude, you got to establish roles. And if you don't, good luck both trying to occupy the same seat. I don't know if you have a system, an operating system that you use in your business. If it comes with your franchise system, a lot of them do.
Oh.
Our operating system, basically, the first thing we do, and it should be this way in every operating system, is establish roles. And then once you understand the roles that are established, you make ground rules, and that is more than one person cannot occupy one role. Because if more than one person is accountable, then no one is accountable. So the fact that you have those, did you naturally establish them or did you discuss them?
No, it just evolved naturally.
Yeah.
It was out of necessity, and like we each know what the other is good at and not
Sure.
good at. So yeah, it happened pretty organically.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to force it. Because then you're falling into your position. That's probably why you're growing and having good success in your business. Is those naturally, organically established roles are kind of where you fit. And obviously, as you were just describing, you understand the importance of them. You said it, like someone has to be doing this. This is a full ass time role. This is what you are required to do in order for the business to grow and be successful. And surely you understand that about your brother's role as well.
100% agree.
Does he respect your role as much as you respect his?
Yep, 100%.
Really?
It's so awesome. We know how far to. If there is a disagreement, which is few and far between, it's like we share a brain in a lot of ways, in a good way. And so you know when you're pushing the envelope with one another. But I trust him. I know that anything that's in his arena is going to get taken care of, and I know he has that mutual respect for me. So it's awesome to have that trust.
5 Dysfunctions of a Team. You ever read this book? The 5 Dysfunctions,
not.
bro. Fucking read this book.
You didn't tell me I had homework today.
Numero uno. All right. So I won't. I've gone into it on previous episodes before. I won't bore anyone. But
No, I'd love to.
number one thing in order to gain traction, to achieve desired results, is trust. Without trust, so the dysfunctions of a team are the absence of trust. So in order to achieve your desired results, you must first establish trust. And you have to trust each other to engage in conflict, in healthy conflict. And then it goes on, which I'll explain in a minute. But the family dynamic, there's obviously pros and cons to doing business and having partnerships and relationships in business. But one of the biggest pros with doing business with family or having partnerships with family is that the trust is already established. When I, like for my company, I hired my integrator. I hired my director of finance, my admin director. I hired these people that were either randos or friends, but either way, we didn't have that established trust already. So we had to work towards that. So you have a major upper hand by doing that.
Definitely.
Also comes with some family bullshit that hopefully you can work through.
Yeah, it's very minimal. But can I ask you a question?
Yeah, rock and roll.
So I get, just after being around you guys for the short amount of time that I have, that you're all very perceptive, self-aware people.
Sure. Douche awareness.
Douche awareness, yeah.
Zach's a super big douche. He just knows it.
Yep.
I'm a medium douche.
Medium awareness. Major douche. No, high level douche. Medium awareness.
Medium douche.
He can't even defend himself back
No,
there.
he's not like, Ian, turn that mic off again.
Did you kind of establish a feeling out period where, okay, I know after a week or after a day, or is it a month, or is it case by case where you're locked in? You like, this is somebody I know I can rely on. I know I can trust them. I'm that this will trust. There might be other things that you need to work on, but
Dude, that's a loaded ass question. I could do a whole fucking episode on
Yeah,
that.
that's valid.
alone.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, Matt, you're big on vibes, and I think that's what
Yeah,
Matt's a big
intuition.
people person. Like in regards to what he immediately I think Matt could probably within 5 seconds know if he's either going to like you or hate you.
It's quick. Yeah, intuition.
Yep. Yeah.
So what I found over my last couple years of basically analyzing personalities. So we use like a personality test program on all of our new hires. Biggest thing I learned with this whole program, which is called Culture Index, by the way, shameless plug for them, is self-awareness, my own strengths and my own weaknesses. One of my, if not probably my like superpower strength, is my low level of logical drive behind my decision making. It's usually emotional. And I've kind of grown my whole life making instinctual gut instinct feelings to the point where that's just how I make decisions. There's logical thinkers and logical decision makers who make their best decisions based on logic, opposite of me. Mine is more instinct, more gut, more intuition, where like Ian was just describing, when I meet someone, it's usually like a vibe deal. Like, yeah, I believe this person's got it. Now, when you're making decisions based on fucking emotion, about 99.9% of the time, you could bet your sweet ass there's going to be error in that.
You get hoodwinked once or twice?
Yeah, I fuck up often.
Hey, it happens to everybody.
Yeah, I'm just okay with it though. Yeah. So the answer to your question is it's usually intuition. It's usually like an instinct. And I mess up on that. But I am quick to realize when my instinct was wrong or when I messed up or when I get hoodwinked or when I get, and I'm like, shit, I was wrong on that. Here's what I will tell you. When I first started my current company, I made a rule. No family, no friends. If you are a key role in my team, anywhere like a mid to upper level management, we cannot hire any of your family or any of your friends. And we won't hire any of my family or my friends because it fucks everything up. Fast forward, years go by. What I realized was that our desired results was trust and credibility. Our desired results is a closeness like family or friendship, to where what we are trying to achieve is fucking family or friendship within the company. But I have this stupid ass rule where you can't hire family or friends.
I know why you have that rule though.
Yeah, because it fucked up too much of my past business experiences to where I said, we're not doing that shit anymore. Because, you know, you have two key role people, one quits, one goes off the ledge, you lose them both. Yep. Dude, it was a disaster, but ultimately we changed that rule. And now it's just what we do. We hire family, we hire friends. It is what it is. I work with people that weren't my really close friends on my leadership team. They know shit about me that close friends outside of business don't know about me. Yeah. I'm closer with some of my leadership team.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So, I don't know if that answers your question or not, but our desired outcome is closeness and vulnerability. And openness, honesty. We start off every one of our quarterly and annual meetings, strategic planning meetings, is the expectations for everyone is to be open and honest. And when I talk about open and honesty, I mean vulnerability to a level of almost discomfort with my employees. We cry. We fight like siblings, like we get after each other. It's part of that trust that we've created to engage in that conflict, that honesty, to say, dude, you're fucking up. You know, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and it's affecting our team. Or I don't feel that you're being open and honest. I feel like you're lying or you're holding out for whatever the reason is. What I will say to conclude that question, the answer to that question is, if I realize early on that same intuition that led me to believe I can trust you, leads me to believe that I can't, I just go for it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, I don't feel like I can trust you. Yeah. And I just say it. And
intuition is real.
Yeah, it's real, especially for people that have been operating on that element of their life forever. Like, that's just how I've been making decisions my whole life, is intuition, not logic. And anyone who knows me knows I make some emotional ass decisions.
Well,
sometimes they're great.
I think with entrepreneurs, that's something probably I think maybe most entrepreneurs have, because logically an entrepreneur doesn't make sense because you're betting on yourself, you're gambling, you're taking a risk.
That's right.
So I think that just works with a lot of entrepreneurs to not think logically.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Some of the best. So Again, I can
peanut
go on.
gallery.
Dude, I can go
Oh,
on.
this is great. I love this.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to hear about Zach too. But I mean,
Dude, I need to start a business. Apparently,
so
that's all I'm gathering out of this.
But sorry.
Go ahead.
I love this. I don't. I know from listening to a few of your podcasts already that at least
You've only listened to a few of our podcasts, bro.
fewish. A fewish.
You haven't.
I've dabbled
listened to
in-
every
I've dabbled in
single
many.
You mean
episode.
you've only missed a few?
You've only missed a few.
I've only missed a few.
Yeah. You've only missed a few minutes.
I've only missed a few. I have
Yeah.
the YouTube alert. That
Go
as soon
on.
As it goes,
We interrupt.
As soon
Go
as
ahead.
it
What were
goes
you gonna say?
live. I
Smash that like
Smash
button.
that. Yeah, you
Smash
got
that bell.
You know, I know that at least you and I can't remember if either one of you guys talked about it, but I know you're part of a business group, and outside of my brother, we've got national sales meetings that we go to where we
Sure.
talk to other franchisees, and I love that because I love talking shop, and it bores the shit out of people who aren't entrepreneurs for the most part. I mean, sometimes you bump into people or you get friends and family that genuinely want to have that conversation, but a lot of times you don't. So to be able to have a fun, like deep, thoughtful conversation about everything that entrepreneurship entails is so fun.
Dude.
Because every journey is so different.
Not only is it fucking fun, it is required.
Yeah, it really is.
It's required. You have to have people that you can trust, that you can have these open conversations with and talk about the shit that you either can't or won't talk about.
Money, you guys talked about that in a previous episode.
bro.
I mean, that's a big one, and people, like you, to your point, a lot of times people, they're gun shy and they
Shy
just
away
freeze
from
up.
it, yeah.
That's right.
But sorry.
It's everything, man. That's right. So that's why that group, EO, Entrepreneur Organization, is the group you're probably talking about. But I'm in several. That group was created by a guy named Vern Harnish, author of the book Scaling Up and a fucking genius. Crazy successful businessman and a mind that would blow yours. He created that group because he lost a friend to suicide who was also very successful. And as I think the story goes, he was suffering from depression, anxiety, as most of us do at some point or another. And he didn't have anywhere to turn because he didn't have that group of people that he can go talk about anything and everything with, that he could be vulnerable with, that he can be open and honest with, that he trusted, and that he can take the face off. Because us as entrepreneurs, we always have to have a face on. We're leaders. We can't show weakness. And I think that is the most commonly misconceived.
I know where you're going with this.
It's just something that young entrepreneurs don't understand they do not have to do. In fact, it's the opposite. You've got to have a group of people. Franchise systems are really good for it. To have other franchisees that you can go bounce ideas off of or be vulnerable with if you allow yourself to be. Yeah. What I've created, and when I first got into EO, I realized that was the premise of the group. That was the premise of the organization. And I quickly also realized that I had no problem with that. That was not going to be something that I battled.
Liberating too.
Yeah.
You just
sure.
lay it all out.
Yeah.
Well, I think it also opens the door for conversation because a lot of young entrepreneurs will assume they're like in competition with other business owners or things like that when it's really just one big. Everybody wants to eat. Everybody's okay with everybody else
there's
eating.
plenty of fucking food.
There's plenty of food for everybody.
For now. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Food shortages are coming.
Yeah.
But here's what I would encourage you to do is I would create that inside of my team. I would open up. This is another reason why we started the podcast was as we grew, the footprint of my company grew, where we started hiring people faster than I could keep up with, even their names. And I'm sad to admit, they're hiring people. I don't even know who they are until after they're a part of our team, which is just a part of growth.
It's a nice problem to have. It means you're growing.
Yeah, we're growing. We're growing rapidly, and we're growing well. But nonetheless, it's a problem, and I need to reach out to them, and I want them to know who I am personally. So one of the reasons for starting the show was we could say everyone will get to know me. All they got to, if they want to know me, I'm there. I'm available to everyone. That has created a connection with my team, my vulnerability. I mean, we talk about, I mean, sex, anything. Nothing is off limits on the show, which means my team, all they have to do is listen, and they get to know the most vulnerable me that there is.
You're wide open.
Wide open, dude.
Which is
and
awesome.
they text me about it. They call me about it. Like, hey, man, I was listening to the show. They quote me in some, and I'm like, it's working. I'm getting more connected to my people through my show and through this platform than I even could imagine. And I think the closeness, they talk about me amongst themselves and about my viewpoints. I'm setting the standard. I'm setting the lead for the culture. The people who agree with me, follow me. The people who don't, kick their own ass out of my company. And what's happening is the culture is being built around me because of my vulnerability, nothing being off limits. I would encourage you and any new, not that you're a new business owner, but any new business owner to lead with vulnerability. Be open and honest. Let people know who you are. We've got financial problems in the company. Like, I'm not hiding that from my team. Yeah. I'm leaning into that. Yeah. This problem is now their problem.
You need them to play a role in recovering out, getting through that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's their role. Yeah. It's not even my role.
Yeah.
I can help lead them, but vulnerability, man, and openness, honesty, throughout the leadership.
It's something we talk about all the time, man, is authenticity. I mean,
authenticity.
Be you.
Cannot be overstated.
Yeah.
Could not agree more.
Anybody else? Am I the only one?
Speaking of, you're a Patriot.
I'm a lush.
I mean, you might as well go ahead while it's open. Fill her on up.
Attaboy.
While it's open.
There you
While
go.
it's open, here we go. So speaking of vulnerability and openness and honesty, you're a Patriot.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about this.
So I want to be clear.
Okay,
I want to be clear before
about?
we get into it. We did not even actually know all that when we invited you on. That was kind of a coincidence, because I don't want people to think you're just inviting fucking Patriots on just to agree with your shit,
I don't give a fuck if people think that.
I mean, whatever. But that was just kind of
I care more about what his
that was
grandma
an added
thinks, bro.
Thanks for thinking of Grams.
Yeah, I care about Grams,
Grams and Papa. We love you.
Sorry, go on.
But once we invited you, because honestly, my wife is the reason you're probably here, because she gave you, a review that we were like, all right, that'll probably work out.
Yeah. She said that you guys were. I didn't know. I wasn't aware of your podcast, and I actually found out about it through
family.
Yeah, through family, and
that's great.
And I watched. I was like, oh my god, these guys kick ass. They're
and then
all
once
about
we,
what I.
Once
what
we
I'm
did
about.
a little more research, I dug like your Facebook page and stuff like that. Saw some of your posts. I was like, okay, this is going to be a pretty good conversation for
Zach
sure.
stalked you for about 2 weeks.
That's right. He did some recon.
2 weeks.
There's
about
admirable.
Yeah, whatever.
So we did, in fact, invite him on because we knew he was a Patriot.
After the fact, yeah.
If you weren't, you wouldn't have made it.
If I was a pants screaming liberal, I probably wouldn't have.
You're not going to make it on the show.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have made the cut.
In fact, I've got some family and some friends. My brother is a huge critic. My oldest brother, not the one I mentioned earlier, but my oldest brother is a critic of mine. He also listens to the show, which is funny. But he's like, if you want to gain any kind of real traction, you need to have a fucking argument. You need to have a debate show. You can't just have a bunch of people that agree with you on the show.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I said that, I guess, but you're right.
And then I tell him, dude, you don't understand the premise of the show. And he's like, well, you can fucking listen to me or not, but I'm telling you I'm right. Like, if you want that thing to blow up, you've got to have people on there. Here's the deal. We can have a debate show.
Yeah.
We can have people on here, but I was sick of being fucking interrupted. I wanted to do this so I can have a platform so I can be uninterrupted, not in an echo chamber, because that's what it's being accused of being, is an echo chamber. Oh, you just have a bunch of people around you that agree with all the same shit and repeat the same thing you do, and then it makes you feel good. No, opposite of that. I'm sick of being interrupted, and I'm sick of being dumbed down by the dumbest mindsets of all time. Like, if you don't see what's going on at this point, today,
Dude, today, even worse than last week.
I don't even understand. Like, when we started the show, it wasn't even, like, it was crystal clear to us. But when we started the show, it was like...
You could have made an argument.
I don't even think so.
Not now, though.
Today?
Today, no. Absolutely not.
How? How could anyone make an argument? And that's why I sit there and say, sure, we can have someone on the show that disagrees, but I'm probably just going to be like, dude, if you don't see it now.
We're not convincing each other of anything here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you're dumb. I know the answer. And they're brainwashed. There has been the most sophisticated and technical and coordinated information campaign launched on the entire world at the exact same time through the most powerful networks of communication and the most wealthy, literally endless money. Imagine trying to grow your business. You're a business guy. Imagine trying to grow your business with a never-ending supply of money.
You'd be the biggest, baddest person on the block.
You'd be able to do whatever the fuck you wanted to. Right.
No rules.
No rules. You'd be able to do whatever you wanted to do. You'd control everything. And that's what these people that I am now calling dumb, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that because it's part of the problem. The goal is separation. The goal is divide. And the more I call people dumb, the more I'm feeding into it. But at this point, like, holy shit, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's permeating throughout our families and throughout our businesses, our friendships, families with close ties are being completely torn apart at the seams. I mean, I won't go too far into this, and I'll ask you if you've got any shit like that going on in yours. My wife and I broke up. We talked about it on our episode where we talked about our life, but we used to break up all the time. One of the reasons why we got back together is I just loved her family. I had a big family, but we were separated, up and down the East Coast, and we didn't get to spend a lot of time. It was really just my immediate family. Grew up in Florida. My wife had this massive family that everyone loved each other. Everyone got along. They would go on like camping trips and shit. We didn't do any of that when I was growing up. We had, Christmas dinner and shit. We had friends. One of the reasons I wanted to get back together with my wife, and I told her this, was I am totally in love with your family. It's amazing. They're amazing people.
You're not so much.
Yeah, I loved her.
I really want to be with your family.
The biggest, when we broke up, she went on this family camping trip and she was tormenting me. She sent me like a picture of everyone. We all miss you. I'm like, you broke up with me and then you go on this trip and then you're fucking
taunting you.
She's taunting me with what I loved most was her family, and that same family today. They don't do the fucking camping trip anymore, of course. But when they do camping trips, it's completely divided and they don't do it together.
Because of everything
of course,
that's going on.
Because they have been completely brainwashed on one end. And I hate to be the one that says they. And we are completely on the other side of that, where we're going, how the fuck do you not see what's going on? And because of that, some of the most tight-knit and closest relationships in this fucking world have been shredded, completely ripped apart. And when that happens, the people who are orchestrating this information campaign are winning.
They've won.
They've won, yeah.
Winning. I won't say they've won.
They're winning.
They're yes.
Winning.
I don't know if they've won or not. I don't know if it's too late to turn this
never too
around without... Yeah, I mean, sure. Dude, let me ask you this. Your families. Any of this shit going on in your families? Divide?
No, because I mean my families don't have that strong of opinions, I guess.
Sure.
So it hasn't really affected it in that regard. And I actually just recently learned out Jordan's family is most of them more towards what we'd agree and talk about. So not really. Just because they're not. My mom was like into masks and shit because.
Dude, we almost made you wear a mask coming in.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, just to fuck with
We
you.
were gonna have a mask.
I would have
at the
been
door.
I would have called bullshit
You
on
would
that.
call
it,
yeah, we knew that.
I've listened to the show, boys. I'm not wearing a fucking mask.
We're like, should we put
It
a
would
box
have been
of masks?
It could have been a
next to the door?
test.
We're like, we don't have any.
It could have been a test.
I'd be
Man.
like, you got a washcloth or something.
We didn't
I
even
don't
have
one on me.
Dude, we didn't even have a mask to fuck with you with, so it couldn't have happened. We didn't.
But my family, no, just because they're not as opinionated. But I think most of them probably generally are more conservative than that. Yeah.
What about you?
Not to the point where it's divisive, but definitely some tense conversations. And I'm definitely the most outspoken on what I feel justifiably, what I feel is actually going on, and that there's a legitimate agenda. There is a war happening right now. It is to name drop Mike Flynn, General Flynn, we are in a new generation of warfare. This is information and psychological warfare, and no longer are countries needing to fire at physical weapons to achieve their goals. They are infiltrating from the bottom up like a sponge. They are coming up from the bottom and achieving the goal that they need to achieve. The people in my sphere, in my world, are like, I have an amazing family. I couldn't be blessed with a more amazing immediate extended family, friends. I'm so fortunate. I'm so lucky in that regard. So many people on this, not just in our country, on this planet, who are genuinely fantastic humans, and they cannot fathom, they can't begin to think that this level of pure evil actually exists.
Right.
It's hard
in real life.
Yeah.
Like they're like, it's a brain block. They can't wrap their head around that there's that level of collusion and that level of sophistication.
Even when you give them exact, unarguable, undeniable proof that this level of evil exists, they don't even argue it, but they still refuse to believe as a whole that it exists. And I'm going, no, this is happening.
It's real.
It's real. And it's happened all throughout human history.
Yep.
Not only has it happened and you're denying it, but you also admit that it happened before, but yet at the same time you say it can't happen. That's the level of brainwash that this information, you nailed it, dude. Like, all military service aside, we've got some military folk, all three of us, have served or are still serving.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah, for sure.
I don't have I never had the balls or the decision power to, but I appreciate anybody who has served our country. So
do we.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So do we. And disclaimer, we're not speaking on behalf of the military, and these are our own fucking opinions. Sure. But I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said warfare has changed. The Army, I don't even know what the fucking Army's mission is anymore. What's the Army going to do?
Yeah.
What is the Marine Corps going to do? We're not kicking in fucking doors, with the exception of, special operations teams, SEALs.
Yeah. You're not storming beaches.
SF. We're not storming beaches. That will never happen again. Right. There's no way it can ever happen again. When America gets attacked, let's listen to the word attacked, and let's kind of convert that into conceptual meaning. What is the real meaning of that? It is not going to be on America's beaches. Nobody's going to come in, fucking beach their shit, roll down their shit, and storm our beach. They'll be dead in fucking 5 seconds.
It's already happened. It's not when they are. Because what they've done is they've already taken out half the country. Because when you divide a country, you have half the people that believe in the mission, and then the other half doesn't.
Yeah.
So they've literally taken out half of our population because they planted a seed within and then established that emotional connection, right? Emotions is how you can change people. So it's not people have arguments anymore because that's too easy. When now people, when they have that emotional connection to something, whether it's masks, whether it's race, that emotional connection is established. So you either agree and hate or you disagree and hate, because there is no middle ground anymore.
What does an attack on America look like? It looks like cyber. Okay. It looks like information. It looks like nuclear. Sure, that could be an attack. And now you have to, once you realize communications, language, information, once you realize what an attack could be, now just look and say,
what's going on?
Right.
Yeah.
It's happening.
We got attacked.
We've been attacked. We are currently getting attacked. We're in the middle of a fucking war that the American people...
They're looking for uniforms. They're looking for tanks.
Right.
We're in a war.
This is it. And the information is Words are the weapons. The information is the war. Words. Look what they're doing to our words. If they can change what the definition of a boy is and what the definition of a woman is, okay, there is nothing else. They can change the definition of what good and evil is. They're doing it. They're literally doing it, and it's a constant. We're down the fucking rabbit hole.
I mean,
you weren't supposed to go down this rabbit hole.
I wasn't. I love the rabbit hole, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. And I think that to your point, it's so subversive that it plays on people's naivety and people's good naturedness.
Yeah, of course.
And it really does, and I think it exploits that so badly. In a broader sense, we talk about the powers that be. And we don't need to go in the weeds on what those powers are. There are
whoever they are.
Ah, dang it! I was just about to say it.
I mean, we can, but they're smart. They're sophisticated. They're the ones calling the shots, and it's just naive to think that they would be so primitive in their approach to subverse the goodwill, the good-naturedness, the wholesomeness of not just America but the world with propaganda, with information warfare. It's very naive to think that they're not using those tools.
Naive is an excellent word to describe that. I'm not calling you dumb. I'm calling you naive. If you don't see what's happening right now, and when we say wake up and open your fucking eyeballs and recognize what's going on, what we mean is stop being so naive. Just take a look. I mean,
and they think that everybody is so naive. They can make things so obvious that we're not even gonna think twice or understand it.
So we've talked about this before. Go ahead.
A couple examples, but we can.
Yeah, what are the
ahead.
examples?
Yeah.
I mean, like the Damar Hamlin thing comes to mind.
God, that's fucking yeah. All right, go ahead.
Yep. But also, and this might be another topic you guys can get into, but I got a question for you. And the answer might be both, okay? But do you think, so all the things going on, right? Food shortages, shit getting, chicken farms getting blown up. We got the derailment in Ohio. We got
derailments all over the fucking place.
Which, yes, derailments, our airspace, whatever the case is. Is this domestic terrorist at its finest to destroy our infrastructure, or / smoke screens to bigger issues? Hunter Biden laptop, fucking.
When you said it, you think it's both, or you wonder if I think it's both.
Both, yeah.
Two things can be true at the same time. I would agree.
Exactly.
Yep. And it's
smoke screens and actual destroying of our infrastructure.
It's strategic. It is carefully orchestrated, and I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. Nothing is an accident. Nothing is coincidence. It's not a fucking coincidence, dude. It's a clown world.
And you can tell what shit is not. You can tell what shit is not part of the plan because it gets like a breath of air on the news, and then it's fucking gone.
I.e. the shooting in L.A. of the at the lunar thing.
I mean, how much
There's
have you
a
heard
mass
about,
shooting, and they talked about it for one day.
How much have you heard about Michigan State right now?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I didn't even know it happened until last night when I was in bed.
Of course not.
I didn't even know there was a school shooting. How much have you heard about the
fucking earthquakes across the world killing millions of people, thousands?
A world tragedy, and they're not even talking about it.
Dude, none of this shit. So you can tell what shit is part of the plan.
Which is sanctioned by they and which is not.
Right.
Which is sanctioned by they.
And you can tell by what they cover and how they cover it. Look no further than how they deliver the information. They deliver the information to us the way they want us to perceive it. So, all right. So a couple things. Number one, it's both. I know, I'd bet my balls on it. The answer is it's both. It's very carefully orchestrated. It is carefully delivered to us. The information is hand carried to us and delivered to us on the fucking platter that we want to see it on. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, when your eyes are fully open, and when you can see this, they'll call it red pill, whatever the hell you want. When you're awake, okay, you can see it. And you see it differently because you see it through the lens of on purpose. Yep. You see it through an intentional lens. And
like theater. We talked about that
theater,
before.
Right.
Yep.
It's theater. Predictable, like a movie. You're going, oh, well, I can bet you this is going to happen. And you go, well, that would be the most insane coincidence ever. Like, that would be crazy. That would be a movie. Yeah.
No coincidence.
No coincidences.
No coincidence.
It's not, and I can predict it about 99% of the time. Damar Hamlin. Did you see the interview with him and Michael Strahan?
Yeah.
When he said, "I'd rather not talk about it," or
Bro,
something to that effect.
It's no, like,
Dude, hold on. Can we pause right there on Damar Hamlin? Because I got, not an argument, but during the Super Bowl, I was talking about how everybody came to be that this isn't fucking Damar Hamlin. He died, and they're fucking. So here, it's so weird, man, and I want to get your guys' opinion. One, when he was at the divisional game, he was all masked up, and, you know, you couldn't really tell who the fuck he was. So maybe that wasn't him, and they were just trying to motivate the team, right?
sure.
The Super Bowl rolls around, and he's there. He's there with, you know, Roger Goodell. He's on the field shaking hands. But there's two pictures, man. He's got a tattoo on his neck, a big P. I think he went to Pittsburgh, right? There's a big P
You know
on
better
his.
than I do.
He's got a tattoo on his neck.
Okay.
In the pictures that I've seen of him on the field, that tattoo's not there. So that's everybody's like, what the fuck's going on, right?
Okay.
I'm the same way. I'm like, and somebody even said to me, like, if they were really fucking faking it, you think they'd miss something as obvious as a neck tattoo? No, I don't. But where the fuck is the tattoo? Like, and I looked up several images. I'm like, because you can Photoshop anything.
Sure.
And I'm, you know, take it with a grain of salt and fucking do your research and figure it out type person, right? So I looked up every image I could of the Super Bowl. The tattoo's not on his neck. No, I don't think they'd forget an obvious thing as a fucking neck tattoo, but where the, like, did he get it removed since he got, like...
That doesn't seem plausible. He's had other bigger fish to fry.
That's
than
what I'm
removing a
saying. Like,
tattoo.
where is the fucking tattoo then? Like,
Dude,
what's
here's the
going
reality.
on, dude?
They don't need to. Once you understand, now, and I don't know if this is the dude. I don't know if he
Sure
who
looks
the
like
fuck
him,
knows?
but...
Right.
Yeah.
Sure looks like him. I don't know what their motive behind it was or would be, but here's what I would tell you. They don't give a fuck enough to lie to us and make it a good lie. The bigger the lie, the more believable it is.
Right, because it's so unbelievable.
Easier it is to get through.
Frisell actually said something about that, because remember when I was talking about the stuff on the House of Rep on the floor when they were fucking trying to...
Yeah.
It looked like a big theater act.
It was.
And Frisella actually said they don't care enough to give you hope. Like, they don't give a fuck anymore to give you
They
hope.
don't.
So it's not, he was saying it's not fake, because they don't even care if you have
That's-
hope
might
at
be
this
true.
point. Yeah. So same thing, man. The lies are just so egregious. Everybody's like, no way that can be true. Like, literally, they paid off his family to shut the fuck up, and then brought in a fake Damar Hamlin to... It's unbelievable,
Buddy,
dude.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
As crazy as this may sound to people who maybe disagree with the take that the three of us have, we've been labeled as conspiracy theorists for years now. And there are, you know, I think there are varying degrees of,
Sure.
you know, rabbit holes and conspiracy. You know, there's stuff that's insane.
Put the
Like,
tinfoil hat on.
Yeah,
They do
tinfoil
that
hat.
intentionally.
Yeah, but they want
To
to group
make
it.
it-
They want to lump it all into
That's
one
right.
big bag.
That's some crazy shit. Therefore, all the shit we
Yeah.
say must go into
It's
that same
discredited.
bag.
Yes,
Yep, of course.
yes. There is an occultic base, whether I don't care how crazy that sounds to anybody who may be watching this or listening, or anybody that I talk to who, just because you don't believe that it's true doesn't discredit the fact that it might be. Just because you haven't seen it or maybe done your homework or you know, taken time to look into it, that doesn't mean that it's real. You don't get to just say unqualifiedly that, well, that's nuts. That's a conspiracy
Sure they
theory.
do.
Yeah,
Sure they do.
That's the take.
CNN said they can.
That's the hot take, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I think that they're pulling out all the stops. Like you said, I think they know that they're busted. They know that enough people, and I think there's a design in play, but I think that there are enough people that are... The internet age changed everything, because now people can take the time, and people who desire it enough can go out and find information.
The tool that they created, the internet, the tool that they created to control all of the information got out of hand, and they can no longer keep up with the with the suppression of the information, because there's too fucking many of us that saw it early enough.
100%.
There's too many of us to suppress the information. Can't stand on all of our heads without completely obliterating our rights.
It's like the hardest game of whack-a-mole ever. You can't win.
Right. So now the question is, so it isn't a matter of, are there enough people? Because I think we're there. There are plenty of people. There are people, I mean, we've got a very small platform. And although this is a part of why we launched the show, it's not the sole purpose. We launched the show to help do our part through many avenues. We want to change the world. Like, we've got the biggest goal of any fucking show that any podcast that you will hear. Our goal is to literally change the world through purpose. Yep. Yeah, dude, it's our mission. However, we've got a tiny platform and a tiny following and audience compared to what some of these massive followings have that have millions and millions of followers who very well understand what's going on. So to think that our platform or our show is going to be the one that changes the world through the information, that's not the goal. We do want to show that regular ass people like us can make a fucking difference, and we have. In a very short period of time, we made a major difference. And our brand and our heart, our soul is being felt through thousands of people throughout our communities.
Bingo.
The outreach that we're feeling is there. And what we are, rather than the difference, we are proof that the difference is being made.
Yep.
And just to kind of add to that, like, I had my opinions, obviously, but I was one of those guys or one of those people, which a lot of Americans are, like, I'm just staying in my lane. Life is good. Going to ignore everything else and stay in my lane. And then I started listening to Andy Frisella, and this was when the mask thing was big. He's like, if you're going out, if you believe this is bullshit and you're wearing a mask and you're just going with the flow to, path of least resistance, whatever the case is, you are part of the problem. Like, and then Matt came to me with this podcast idea, and I'm not as outspoken, I'm not as opinionated, I'm not as well versed, I can't speak as well as Matt. I'm like, man, I don't know, I'm gonna fucking like drown in it. But
Hardly.
I'm like, but I have to fucking do something, man. Yeah. Like, this, if this is what I can do, this is
like
is
you
where
felt a
it's
calling,
at.
like, okay,
exactly,
I gotta...
like Andy, fucking Matt, and all these people just kind of like, I believe what I believe, but I'm not doing anything. I'm just. Sure, I'm not wearing a mask when I go out, but am I really fucking like helping and trying to get the word out? Like, and this was kind of my calling to do that, to jump on this.
You
with Matt.
sent me
I love it.
Andy Frisella's podcast.
Yeah, I told Matt to listen to it, and he fucking fought me forever.
Dude, I don't have time for that shit,
dude,
man.
you and Andy Frisella are the same fucking person.
So
dude.
what was the friction with the podcast suggestion?
No, you
like,
give
put
him
it
any
on,
suggestions, he'll just fucking he'll put it.
I'm not taking, dude. I got no time for your shit, dude. Whatever.
Yeah.
I listened to about like 5 minutes of an episode,
But
and the guy's over the top obnoxious.
Oh, he's like Matt times 10 probably.
yeah.
But same opinions, same views, same everything, and that's kind of what pushed me to.
What pushed me was, so I have all these reasons why the podcast would be a good idea. And you can go back and listen to episode 1 where I talk about how I was always intrigued by radio. I love the concept of getting together and shooting the shit. Whiskey brings us to the table. It's kind of a passion of mine. I knew that I was passionate about something. I knew that I knew that a community level, a local level was where this movement needed to come from. It needed to come from our communities. It needed to come from not fucking billionaires, not people on the media, not mainstream people, not people with massive followings. It needed to come from people like us. It needed to come from just a fucking dude with his friends and some other friends with some kids and a house and a studio.
Relatability.
Right. That's where it needs, because
Authenticity.
Just about to say authenticity.
100%.
You were.
Yeah.
I saw it coming. I
So-
wanted to beat you to it.
authenticity, relatability, and in a world where information is the fucking weapon, okay? In a world where no one can trust anyone, I thought they're going to trust me. I'm just a fucking dude. Like,
You got no agenda.
I got no agenda.
No
like,
money behind you.
nothing. Nothing. Every bit of any amount of money, and it ain't a fucking lot. It's enough to do this. Enough to make a difference. There is no incentive behind me, and it's very clear. It's very obvious. I thought no better way to do this than with fucking 0 followers. Because seemingly, these people with all of this fucking influence pop up overnight. And what does that create? Distrust. And when there's distrust, there's no fucking results in our movement.
Why
our
the
mission.
fuck are you so famous?
Yeah.
All of a sudden?
How the fuck did you get here? I'd never heard.
Yeah, Tate.
Oh, Andrew Tate. You're
dude.
Andrew Tate, you're the most canceled person. I didn't even know who the fuck you were. How the hell are you the most?
I thought I missed something. I was like,
right. Where the hell did this guy come? And you think about it, all of these people are just
What's a word?
overnight. I don't fucking know.
Planned opposition or
Controlled opposition.
controlled
Yeah,
opposition.
controlled
Yeah,
op.
sort of.
For sure. So that was one of the biggest motivators to me, was to say, well, they're going to trust me. And if I can do it, then anyone could do it, number one. I can kind of lead the way by creating a ground up effort and sort of documenting the whole process. So we thought there's no better way to do it than some people getting together, some friends getting together.
Start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Fucking 0 followers.
Yeah. 0, start from 0. And we're actually, you walked into the studio today, or to the house today. We were talking about, Ian was lecturing us on our growth and our results. It's really fun to see, but this was our mission. Our mission, and as we said on episode 1, was to show people that, because we had this conversation, like Ian was
Out
a gay
there,
Democrat.
Probably.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I see the look on your face.
I'm kidding.
Don't let his.
I'm kidding about the Democrat part.
Oh, hey. But
I'm just kidding.
I love everybody, but
Yeah.
just be smart.
We decided, Zach and I had this conversation early on. Exactly what he just described was, hey man, I feel this way. He was suppressing himself because of whatever the reason is, that all of us are doing it, that all of us did it at one point. Our reputation, our businesses, our fear of
Cancel culture.
cancel culture,
Fucking all over.
everything. We knew this had to be a grassroots, local community effort across all communities. So the biggest driving force behind the start of this show was just to say, hey man, you're just another fucking business owner
We're just
who
some
believes the
average
same
dudes.
regular ass people that do it. And guess what? We're going to have 1 million fucking subscribers. We're going to grow this thing, and eventually someone's going to call us they or deep state, but they're going to be able to go back and check our fucking receipts and show we started this bitch with 0, and it took us a long time to get there. And I think it's the most important thing that we can do for our communities.
Authenticity.
Authenticity.
You guys hit it on that.
Boom.
Yeah.
Break time.
I don't know. That would kind of fucking me off. I mean,
Fucking you off.
I forgot piss.
You can't even spell
I can't.
swear
It's,
right.
It's tough.
Fucking me
you
off.
Yeah, fucking me off.
It's F-U-C-K.
Nothing ever fucks you off. I get fucked off
gets
all the
what-
time.
Listen.
Ian, cut that.
Let's get back to this thing. Fucking, here's the deal. This is a local community effort that, if we're going to change the world for the better, if we're going to save this shit, if we're going to save the constitutional republic that we live in, if we're going to save our freedom, because as we've established, the only way they're going to attack America is by attacking our rights. Because as long as, I've said this 1,000 times, and if you listen to a show, and we understand you're an avid listener,
Yep.
and now a friend of the show.
Thank you.
If we're going to save this, okay, we have to first understand that the U.S. Constitution is the only thing standing in between a global tyrannical government, global control, a one world government, and it is not a democracy. It is not a freedom government, is the U.S. Constitution. And if you're wondering what's going on right now, look no further than the rights that are under attack. I tell everyone, if there's a controversial decision that you have to make morally or that you have to make within yourself, first, and look no further than this really, but first, look at at the end of this decision, am I going to lose a right? Am I going to lose a freedom? If the answer is yes, your answer should be no, because freedom comes at a cost. And we've discussed this before, as these guys know. The cliche and the saying, freedom is not free or freedom isn't free, is misconstrued. It's taken out of context, taken out of reality. That
most people associate it with death of soldiers,
right.
You know, that sort of thing.
Right. And
your definition, or
my definition is the shit. You want to have the freedom, the right to bear arms. You want to have the freedom of religion. Like, you're going to upset some people. Somebody's going to die. You want to have the freedom to drive on a road. There's going to be car accidents. Like, any value that comes from any of our freedoms ultimately come with a cost. And it's very hard to conceptualize. But what I believe the solution to the problem is us at a local level, local communities, local conversations, discussing shit. Because I believe, and we all, and everyone in my community believes, it's almost a prerequisite or a requirement, that you have to believe in solving problems. And I believe in a method, or I use a method of solving problems called the IDS method. The identify, discuss, and solve. And if you get stuck in the discussion phase, you're just bitching. You're just complaining. You've got to move to solve. There are people, my family, I'm certain your family, I'm certain every single family listening to this podcast suffers from somebody who won't even get to the discussion phase. They've identified there's a problem, but guess what? At Thanksgiving, we're not allowed to discuss politics. We're not allowed to discuss shit that's going on. You're not even allowed to get to the discussion phase. In order to solve a problem, you've got to get to the discussion phase.
Be uncomfortable for a minute.
Dude, you've got to. You've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to get deep. You've got to get vulnerable. You've got to be able to trust that my opinion, sort of as we discussed earlier, and going back to the business, us as business leaders and community leaders, you as a businessman, business leader, me as a business leader, these guys as voices in their communities, now with followings and people that trust in what they're saying. Ian's got a massive following on his YouTube channel and his Twitch, and he does all this shit. Like, it's our duty. It is our fucking duty to discuss this shit. And it is also our duty to understand that we've got to move towards solutions. So our businesses, I don't know what your relationship, again, we just met, but I don't know what your relationship with your brother is and your family dynamic and how that works, or how that works in your world. But it's my belief that your community is your business. Like, that's your fucking opportunity, dude. That's your opportunity. Aside from family, everyone's a leader in their own right. Like, who are they leading? Is it their family? Is it their friend group? Are they following? Are they not using their opportunity to be a leader? But as business owners and as community leaders, what I understand is that entrepreneurs and local influencers and their community influencers are the ones that will drive change. It's our duty, it's our responsibility to have these discussions. It's our duty and our responsibility to understand that we have to move the needle forward. We've got to move this forward through discussion and then moving into a solution phase. And the way you do that is simple. I understand that we disagree. We have a fundamental disagreement or whatever. We agree that there's a problem. We've identified there's an issue. What is that issue? Okay, we got that. We discussed the shit out of it. Now, how do we move towards solution? And I believe that's done at a local community level, and business owners have the best opportunity to kind of spread that love, that vibe, that trust, that humility, that vulnerability to lay it all out there. In your business, how are you doing, or are you? Do you have, is it like a sacred ground to discuss politics in your business?
Yeah, I don't know that it's sacred ground. I
Do you fear it?
No, I don't fear it.
Good.
I don't personally fear it.
And you have your brothers, you said your business partner.
Yep.
A 50-50 business partner,
50-50.
I assume.
My brother and I are 50-50.
By the way, for business owners, cardinal rule,
Don't do
never
50-50.
have a 50-50.
Because you can have a stalemate on something.
A stalemate.
And you never, like my brother and I have a fantastic relationship. But
That's great.
Your
Dude, you
attorneys
never
will
know.
tell you, they're
course.
like, you have to have some type of
51-49.
Yeah, like some, and we joke about that.
Tiebreaker.
I'm like, I'm 51, you're 49.
Do you allow conversation? Assuming it happens, I don't know. It's an assumption. I mean, do you allow political discussions? Do you allow people to
There are
talk and think freely?
There are a few things that I would say Bryce and I, are there's nothing that's off topic or off limits.
Sure.
Just in general, our personalities. I feel like our business is an extension of who we are as people, and I get the sense that that's you as well.
Gotta be, man.
100%.
His business,
Yeah,
his business reflects him.
it's like it's got Matt's fingerprint on it. Yeah,
Everywhere.
you've never been.
he will literally read the Constitution to his employees, and I'm not exaggerating. That is a fact
Totally
that happens a lot, not once.
I love that.
It happens. That book
true.
right there. That it's an attachment to him.
We got the Constitution on the table.
I
in case you needed a
love
reference.
that. It's the pocket side.
If you need a pocket Constitution, there it is.
I loved it. Bill of
Yes.
Rights in there.
I've got a full-size Constitution right above my bed.
Yeah.
At night,
No,
I make my wife.
Matt
I make
says
my
the
wife-
He's gonna get
preamble before he goes to sleep.
He's gonna get it tattooed on his finger sleeve. It's gonna be the rest of the sleeve.
I
Oh.
started it. I got a finger. This is my start of my fingers.
I think that's so cool.
I
That's
take
kind of cheesy.
my role as a community leader very seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe too seriously. But again, as we started this conversation, it's literally at my fucking core. I believe it's my duty. It's my maybe
You
a
done?
little bit more.
You done?
I just wasn't trying to put you on the spot.
No, I'll be the poor bitch.
Do you guys want to get?
No, that is as
pour me
co-host.
some shit.
That's part of my co-hosting.
It is. It is
It is.
literally
Be the
one of his
I
co-hosting duties.
I was not
Co-host
trying to say, pour me
/
some
bartender.
shit, Zach.
Yeah,
Gosh.
/
Just
bartender.
say it.
Well, thank you.
Matt's fucking going a little slow.
I'm on my program. I'm only allowed 3 drinks. Go ahead. So, I believe.
Cap it off at 3.
Go ahead. Just stop.
I'm
Why you gotta
worried
make it
about you
awkward? Just
now.
pour the fucking drink. It's
You're
still drink
Italian,
number
right?
1. I got 2 left.
Can
Yeah.
you say it like an Italian? Go ahead.
Pour the fucking drink.
ahead.
Busting my balls here.
It busted my balls.
Break. Yeah, fucking break.
I wanted to save some of this. I didn't know if you wanted it for another occasion.
Dude, you drank it all?
We're gonna.
Well,
we probably will.
You're gonna knock
Happens
it
to the
down?
best of us.
Thank you.
Danny's gonna
It's
have
fun.
another one
Thank
after
you, Zach.
that.
All right, so here's my deal. I think maybe I take this too seriously. Maybe I don't. Maybe I take it perfectly seriously
I think I know
enough.
where you're going with this. I don't think you do.
It is my role.
Yeah.
It is this is how we're going to solve the problem. Talking about moving from the identifying phase to the discussion phase to the solution.
No. Talking about fucking purpose, bro.
Bro, you've got to do this. We've got to do this.
This is part of the solution. Us having the D right here, the discussion, is part of the solution because the part of the solution is for everyone to start having the discussion.
Local communities, man. I listen, my family, most of my family, maybe half, I don't know, agree with what I believe is happening. There are some who didn't, who are coming around, who now believe it. Like I always say, there's nobody who is unvaccinated who regrets being
Correct.
unvaccinated.
Correct.
There are millions and millions and millions of people who are vaccinated who regret being vaccinated. There's no one.
Yep.
There's not one fucking person.
Yep.
Find me a single person who regrets being unvaccinated. You can't fucking do it. They don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite, you can find more than you can shake a stick at.
Yep.
If we had these conversations early on, instead of being afraid to have them, that number would be so fucking diminished. It might not exist. Like if we wouldn't have been afraid to be leaders at the time early on when it was necessary to be leaders and have this discussion. Have it. Like, fuck that. If you're a family who says no politics at dinner, you're a part of the problem. First of all, it's not politics. It's the American way of life. It is our fucking freedom. It is everything. It is the future of your children. It is the future of America. It is the future of us. It is our healthcare. It is our food sources. It is our energy sources.
Retirement.
It's everything.
Dude, I saw an article the other day that said you should start skipping breakfast because it's going to be too expensive.
How scary is that? How scary is that? That's like a PSA.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
a thing. Dude, the solution, you've got to use your platform. You've got to use your platform. We've got to be leaders.
This is my platform, Matt.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
It is.
Stop yelling at me.
Listen, it's
I
all
don't
of
have
our
other
platform.
platforms.
It's all of our platform. And I'm here to tell you, it's unpopular, man. It's unpopular. Even
It's
when
not,
it's
though.
popular. Right.
It is, but it isn't. It's You think it's unpopular, but then you do it, and you're like, "Holy shit! It's so not unpopular."
No matter how popular it is, in your heart, because of in your soul, in your the depths of your soul, it's going to feel unpopular because that is
the
what
way they want you to
right.
think. Yeah,
That's what the machine.
But then
is
you
telling
do
us.
it, and you're like, "Oh man, there's this huge following behind us."
Yeah.
yeah.
That's such a valid point. I was having this conversation with a good friend, a really good one of my best friends, and it was a high octane conversation. But I made that point. I was like, it's easy to coincide and go along with what's popular and what's generally accepted.
Of course.
It's
So easy.
really
It's easy.
really goddamn hard to stand up for your convictions and stand up for what you believe in your heart when it is the unpopular thing to say or do socially or whatever, and you know you're going to get heat for it. You know that you're going to get heat. If you like me because of who I am as a human. You don't like me because I say stuff that makes you smile and giggle.
It's hard because you don't want to be boastful. You don't want to be bragging. You don't want to be talking shit and to the point where it's putting people down. But I try and tell people like, hey, I'm not dumb. I know you're calling me dumb, but let's look at my level of success in anything measurable. Your fucking choice. Pick it. Marriage, family, success, financial, like pick a fucking measurable. And I'm wildly successful, far more than you in any aspect you can figure out. Pick it. And then tell me that I'm dumb. And then tell me that I'm wrong. Matter of fact, go back and show me all the things that I've been wrong about in the past. There are plenty. I mean, I think I led in with the show.
Oh, yeah.
I
but
fuck up a lot.
I get the sense that you've owned everyone and like learned tremendously from
There it
it.
is.
Of course.
There it is.
Of course, I pick it off early. Fuck.
We had this conversation at the beginning, I think, was we all have shit to lose.
Of course.
Like, would
Everything
we
to lose.
sacrifice all of that if we didn't feel like if we didn't feel like what we were doing here was needed?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
I think
and the answer is we would put that all on the line. We
Right.
would put that all on the line because
If it costs us
We
that
are.
to send it out.
I mean, you just coming on this show. I hate to tell you this late in the show or a couple hours in. Like, you put it all on the line coming on my show, bro.
Hey,
You come
I love it.
fuck with us.
Willingly.
Yeah.
Willingly.
Somebody's
he knew
not,
what we were about before
I
he came
know, I
here.
know. Somebody is not going to love you after this show, I
that's
promise.
okay.
Somebody who did before is going to be
That's
like,
okay.
damn.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Mark,
man, it's a
Mark
part of
who's
it.
a woman, is not going to like you.
Oh, a woman named Mark.
Oh, what? Sorry, damn it.
A woman
Yeah,
named
yeah,
Mark.
a girl named Mark.
A
girl named
Mark
Mark.
is
Yeah,
not
a girl
gonna
named
like
Mark.
you.
That's okay.
Listen, it goes back
I'll find
to what we talked about earlier, the 5 dysfunctions. Take this to your team. Read the book, by the way.
Yeah.
Have your team read it.
I love the
You
recommendation.
got a leadership team. You got a management
You're
team
looking
in
at
place.
it, me and my brother.
You and your brother.
And we got some people on our staff who just do a great job at they embrace that too.
That's
So,
good.
Yeah.
Get them positions. Trust. I think that's what a lot of people in families and in businesses lack is the first element. So it's a pyramid.
I was just going to say, put that
Oh,
away.
my God.
They're gonna accuse
Put it
us.
away.
He's out of here. He's
Oh,
gone.
no.
He's gone.
Oh my
He's
God.
gone. It's a diamond, shining bright like a diamond. It's a pyramid.
It's a pyramid, not a diamond.
It's a pyramid, not a diamond. Diamonds are fine. Pyramids are not. The bottom is trust. You have to trust enough to engage in conflict.
So you're saying the bottom Is trust. Is that what you said?
Yep.
So the base.
The base is
The
trust.
base is trust.
Gotcha.
Without trust, you have nothing.
I agree.
Without trust and understanding that you can engage in the second level is conflict, where I know that if I engage in conflict with you, it isn't going to be nuclear. It isn't going to end my relationship like your brother.
Yeah, I think you said that about your brother. You each know your line, like when you're getting too close to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Professionally, personally, from a business standpoint, from just topics surrounding a lot of the things that we're talking about
Anything.
right now, anything, like, and that's one of the things that I've tried to be very cognizant of. Like, I'm not trying to come on, your show or just in general, in life in general. And I never, ever want to come across like, I got the answers, guys. Like, just listen to me. This is going to come full circle because of efforts like what you guys are doing. Okay. Grassroots.
They'll come around eventually.
Yes. I do think that is an inevitability. And I'm not saying it's going to come easy. It's through a ton of really hard work from grassroots, heart and soul, reaching out, people like you three guys,
and Lindy.
And
What's that,
I'm
Lindy?
sorry, Lindy. Wherever
she is,
wherever Lindy is. But you know what I mean. Like, so we talked about a whole bunch of stuff for a while. But to me, I kind of always circle back around when I'm having chats about some of this heavy stuff. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, what matters? And again, one of my best friends asked me, he's like, so what? Like, what can I do? If everything that you're saying is real and reality, like, what can I do? And I'm like, the things you can do are you can stand up for the things that you know are right. You can continue to love people.
Do not comply with
yeah.
bullshit
Yeah.
you don't agree with.
Don't comply with bullshit.
Dude, if you don't agree with that fucking mask, don't put it on.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I interrupted.
No.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've got friends and family who listen to the show sort of against their will that I have been with on vacation, different parts of America, all over the place, where, like, we go on vacation with people and I am the one that blows up dinner plans because I fucking refuse to wear a mask from the front door to the table. And I'm like, dear friends, even my wife, who is 100% in sync with me and understands it, is like, will you just put the fucking mask on so we can get to the table? Like, can you? No. And no.
Look,
I'm sorry that I've pissed you off. And good news, you can put your fucking mask on and you can walk your fucking ass all the way to that table and I will go back. I'll go eat somewhere else. Like, no, or I won't eat.
I love that.
No problem.
I applaud the.
It's tough to do,
Dude, it's fucking
hard to do.
hard.
very hard to do.
I'll be honest, I don't have the nuts for it sometimes.
It's hard.
And it's because in my mind, I'm like, I'm not blowing up this relationship over a meal, but I applaud your
conviction.
hard line, your conviction on it,
dude.
Because I haven't taken it to that level, and I don't know that I would.
The first level of the pyramid is trust. Trust to engage in the conflict. The conflict is what we were just describing.
Yeah.
The conflict that I can engage in knowing that I've surrounded myself with people that I can go off the fucking deep end with. And they might be like, he's a little fucking crazy. But they're not going to disown me. I trust these people.
To that point.
Yeah. They might be mad at me.
I'm still here and
And
friends with Matt.
I'm here to tell you, like, a couple of these instances, there isn't a shortage of instances over the last 2 years where I have downright embarrassed the people that I was with who at that moment probably wish they weren't my friend.
So
Probably wish they weren't with me.
So I'm Matt's co-host, right? So obviously I agree with a lot of the shit he says. And he's even started conversations with me like, dude, this is going to sound fucking crazy.
If I had a penny.
And I'm like, okay, let's fucking hear it, dude.
Yeah.
No, but it's real. That's how. And so your take on that right now, anytime that he says that, is you're just like, okay, dude, hit it.
Let's go.
Hit me with it.
Hit me with it.
So the thing with that is, though, I probably agree with him, but I'm like I said before, dude, I can't express. I'm not as good with words as Matt is. And like just the way he says things, I'm like, dude, I 100% agree and believe with what you're saying. I just can't fucking articulate it.
I can't fuck with you. It's
No,
hard.
I can fuck with you.
I know. It's hard. Even someone like me, like I've got people in my life, my wife, my general manager, who is my integrator, Brooke, who I say things and their mind, like they go into a shell and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that out loud. It makes them uncomfortable. Even people like me can be uncomfortable. I'm not very uncomfortable.
I don't get the sense that
Yeah, I don't.
shake
You
it real
shouldn't.
easily.
Even me, I can get uncomfortable in this, and I just have to sit there and say, you know what?
So you endure it.
My convictions are greater than my complacencies, man. Fuck it. I've got to go.
Hey, shout out to Dr. Ben Tapper.
Shout
for
out to
that
Ben
one.
Tapper.
Oh, is that
man.
Dr. Ben?
That's one of his.
Yep, it's one of his. And when he said that, the first time I heard him say it live, he was on stage and I was chilling, and I went, "Holy crap, that's it."
Say it one more time.
My convictions are greater than my complacencies.
I love that. I love that.
Dude, it's what we need.
Yeah.
And then I realized, holy shit, I am a community leader. I had people coming to me saying, hey, will you speak at an event? And I'm like, you want me to speak at an event? I mean, sure, I guess so. You want me? I'm a leader, and then I have holy shit. Not only am I a leader in my community, I'm a leader in my family. I'm a leader in all of my communities that I'm in.
You're impacting people.
I'm impacting people.
Yeah.
And if I am letting my complacencies take over,
Doing them a disservice.
I'm doing everyone a disservice.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what it finally clicked in my brain, that this is a grassroots level effort. This is us as business leaders, us as community leaders are not only in the position to where we can make the difference, it's our responsibility, it's our obligation. God didn't put us in this position to let it fall by the wayside, to let our complacencies take over, let the devil take over. It is our job. It's a requirement for us in our families, in our businesses, in our communities to make the difference, because that's the only way it's going to happen.
Yep.
It's the only solution to the problem is if we all do it. It's crazy to think about where this world is and where it was just a few short years ago.
I think it gets we get back on track by people, as we've been talking about, by people thinking about how they were raised and the things that were instilled in them as people, and referencing that as all of these things come into play, as all of these exterior factors and situations come into play. Well, how were you raised? Is this wrong or is it right? It's really that simple in so many ways, and just a general kindness toward your fellow human beings.
Dude, judge people by their heart and the content of their character.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Race, political.
Yeah.
None of it fucking
Nope.
matters, dude.
Not at all.
By their heart and the content of their character.
Yep.
100%.
Somebody must have said that. It's Black History Month. Didn't Martin Luther King say that?
He might have probably. Sounds like something he would
think
say.
he
He's a smart dude.
You had a question. You said
Well,
earlier.
this was a fun one. It's very off topic.
Well, let's fucking do it. Let's switch the topic before we close
We
this
can
thing
go
out.
off topic.
Let's go.
This is a genuine question, and I maybe should have just asked you off camera, but I not having ever been military, what did both of you, if you could highlight your top one or two takeaways from serving back into civilian life, like what did you bring back with you from that mentality, that philosophy, that what that added to your heart and soul? Like, what did you bring back into civilian world?
You go,
Dude,
because
yeah, that's
dude,
pretty
there's
fucking
no
deep,
fucking
man.
way I can.
I know
I can't
that
do
might have
that
been too
short.
loaded. Sorry, Ian.
I can't
you're
do that
good.
short.
You're good. I can answer it.
You can do it short.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
go.
So I was raised Democrat. A lot of
Gay Democrat.
Democratic views, like for the most part, my mom doesn't believe in guns at all. Just stuff like that, right? So going into the military, my mom actually didn't talk to me for a while because she doesn't even believe in the military. So the military installed in me a lot of what I would say like Republican views, which then turned me into what we like to say libertarian. Because I believe in who's the best for the job, who whether it's left or right, who can unite the people. There's good views all around, right? But we're in the state of, again, where everything's divided. You know, the Republicans can come up with the cure for cancer. The Democrats will call it the devil and vice versa, right? Because no one can unite. And I think that's what the military did for me, was open my eyes and be open to, you know, the Republicans have a lot of good ideas and vice versa. And it opened my eyes, and just, it's not just left and right. And like I said, it kind of made me a libertarian being in the military. So that's what it did for me.
That's huge.
Yeah, I was going to go less fucking deep, I guess.
I was going to take that same path, but go on.
You were going to say
it. Yep. Similar, different.
My path is just relationships, man. Like, obviously, I have friends from high school. I still talk to maybe 3 of them. You know what I mean? But I think just the relationships in general, man. Because you go through shit in the military with people that, like, normal life, you wouldn't have gone through that situation with. Like, I was deployed, holy shit, almost 20 years ago.
God, 18 years ago, bro.
Yeah, 2005. I was same.
No, 03 to 04.
Okay.
How crazy is it that you can say anything you did was 20 years
right?
ago?
No shit.
No shit.
But
that's crazy.
A lot of those people, and even basic training, dude, like, it's a situation you would never have gone through with your high school buddies. You know what I mean? So I talk to people I went to basic training with as if we've known each other, our whole fucking lives. And the people I was deployed with, though, like that situation, I was deployed in 2005, 04 to 05, basically all of 05. And haven't seen some of them since, still talk to most of them. And just that situation alone, the bond you form in those situations is unbreakable, dude. And I spent 13 years in recruiting command trying to explain this to kids, like, because you have friends from high school, you have friends you've met along the way, but until you meet a life or death situation with somebody, you don't even really know what a fucking bond is. Like, I love my high school friends, and I love all the people in my life that aren't military, but just the bond I have with the people that I experienced that with is insane, man. It's insane.
I've got 2. First, and I will make this short because I think I can. When I was young, so I was 19 years old in a command unit.
I see your cup there, by the way.
Which means I was a direct supervisor.
Army, right?
Yep. Army,
Navy.
and Navy.
Navy.
That's all we're going to say.
Yeah, that's all we need to say.
He said he was a Democrat.
Here, take this.
We finished the little bottle kill? Just lay it down right here.
You had your first drinker today.
Yeah.
Had your first drinker today.
Here it is. We did good.
Hey,
Salute.
Hold on.
This
Can you
thing
hold
was
that up with
damn
one and
full.
cheers with the other?
Salute. There it
Hey,
is.
thank you, gentlemen.
We did
Bingo.
it, of course. Glad to have you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So
We lay the deceased in front.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
It was good having you, man. And by the way,
Delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Gretna wine and spirit.
yeah, great
Shout
wine
out,
experience.
shout
Right
out,
out.
shout
Good barrel pick. So mine is 2 takeaways. I thought early on in my life that my business experience came from me being young, 19 years old, in a command unit where my first line supervisor was a general officer. Like, I got to see business at the
for
highest level.
The
of the highest
non-military
level.
folks, that's like, if you ever see a general in your life in the military, it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And he worked directly for him.
Oh, no.
As a private, like as a young, lower enlisted, that was where I grew up. So I got to see business, billion-dollar businesses.
You could spend your whole military career and never come across a
Forgive my
general.
naivety, but a general is an officer side, and you were enlisted side.
Correct.
So that's even more profound, right?
The
And
highest
he's the
level
highest of the
different
officers.
The
brackets.
side.
highest of the officers
Yeah.
and the lowest
Yeah.
of the enlisted.
Yeah, like to the point
If
where
you know the two, that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
where they had to at one point plug in a command sergeant major. They had to plug in the highest enlisted NCO, non-commissioned officer, in between me and a general, just so I wasn't reporting directly to a general
Wow.
in a combat zone.
You
On
always need a
deployment.
buffer, don't you?
Dude, yeah, there's got to be. You're like, this guy cannot fucking talk to that guy. So
great.
I thought that was going to be my biggest takeaway. And it was for a while, for a time. And to bring it full circle back to propaganda machine and all that shit, what my biggest takeaway today is of my now 22 years military service is that the United States Armed Forces is absolutely the most non-racist, bipartisan, one love supporting organization
That's awesome, dude. I love
That's
that.
super awesome.
to ever exist in the world. And I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to be a part of it for 22 years, and it is now coming to an end, and that's fine. It's time. There's a reason why these careers are 20 years. And the reason why really special people get to make it beyond that. But it has given me an opportunity to see the world through a different lens than most people will ever get to
Dude,
experience.
to that point, I am a white dude from Nebraska. My battle buddy,
And it doesn't fucking matter.
my battle buddy in basic training, black dude from Los Angeles, California. No joke.
Yep, mine too.
Because it goes by alphabet. There's no judgment. It's
Yep.
whatever your fucking name
Yep.
is. That's
Yep.
who your battle buddy is. And we fell together in the alphabet and love that dude fucking till
Yeah,
the end of the
mine
time.
too.
Like it's
Completely different backgrounds.
Oh, dude, couldn't
Like
have been
night-
even more
night and
different.
day.
Couldn't even have been. And he actually wrote our fucking. You have to have like a song in basic training
really?
for your fucking. And he was like a freestyle rapper kind of, so he came up with our fucking song. But just
Is he
that's
the guy?
to
Is
that
he the guy
point.
that gave you your flow? All the flow you got.
All that
you got
flow.
He
flow.
might have
You got
given
flow,
me-
son. You got flow.
I probably can attribute
Grady,
a lot.
he is a
No, he got
karaoke
flow.
machine.
He got flow.
I can probably attribute a lot of my flow to Gory was his last name.
Gory.
Gory and Grady. We
Yeah.
were fucking a team. But to that point, dude, like, yeah, Nebraska has black people, obviously. A lot of people think we fucking
I think there's
piss in-
13 of them.
There
now,
might be
right?
about 13.
I'm kidding. More than that on a
but,
football team.
yeah, dude, that's a great point. I didn't even fucking really
Predominantly white. No doubt about it.
For sure.
Nebraska is predominantly white for sure, but yeah, that's I love that point, dude. Like just the diversity, like
Yeah.
all the basic
Doesn't matter.
training
Doesn't
is
matter.
basic training is a great example of that because you have all these people conjoining for one purpose.
And nobody gives a shit what color you are or where you're from.
No, not at all.
That's how it should be everywhere.
is-
You're
It
trying to get through basic training, dude.
Dude, it
which
is
is the hardest thing
literally-
you've done to that point in your life. Because you're, 17, 18 for most of us. It's the hardest thing you've done to that point in your life, and you're experiencing it with people from all over the country.
It is literally the proof, the epitome, the proof that all humans need, that very few, 0.5%, I think they say, can or will join the military and go through it. That purpose will overpower any propaganda and any bullshit they put in our face.
Mhm.
Nobody gives a shit about race. Nobody gives a shit about gender. It's all about our purpose and getting over the obstacles that are right in front of us. And if we can focus on that as a community, if we can focus on that as a country, we'll get through
Let that transcend to
all of this shit.
everybody.
Hey,
Everybody.
hey! While you said it, and I'm looking at the
Yeah,
clock
there
here
it
and
is.
seeing we're running out of time.
There's a clock.
You haven't asked him the most
And here it
important
is.
question.
Let's close this out, man. Hey,
Oh.
we have one question we ask
Yes,
all
sir.
guests and guest hosts in your case. What's your purpose,
Fire
man?
one ready. Oh, my purpose.
You got a purpose, right?
I think I'm a facilitator and a fixer. And I mean that in a variety of different ways. I look at business life, I look at family life, I look at relationships. I think everybody has skill sets. Everybody has things that they're good at, and everybody has things that they suck at. And I got a whole
Sure.
bunch of things I suck at.
Sure. Same. Join the club.
One
We
of
all do.
Welcome.
One of the a whole bunch. One of the things I think I'm good at is I can take a complex situation, whether it's in business or relationship dynamics or something that somebody's going through. I think I got an ability to take something that's complex and confusing and strip it all down to the ground, lay all the pieces out on the floor, and be able to say, we don't need this anymore. We need to reform that. We need to put this over here and then rebuild it in a way that makes sense and that's, maybe provides a better outcome. And I'm analytical. I feel like I'm an intuitive person. I feel like I read people well. So I love the opportunity to have a tough conversation with any of the people I'm close to, or people that I'm not close to. I love having tough conversations. I love having those heart-to-hearts, the like real deep heart-to-hearts. I love opening up. And again, going back to Bryce and I with our business, we have a very open door policy, much like you. Now that I've, heard you talk a lot, we have doors wide open. We've had very, very personal conversations with everybody on our team. We have family that we get to make money with every day, I guess is the best way to put it. Like they're family. We're making money together, but we're family. And so I guess my purpose, I feel like if God called me to, fill a role and recognize what my strengths are, I think maybe he would say that's what you're good at. You're good at talking through things. You're good at, tearing something down that's complex and representing it in a way that's better or more clear. And I love that challenge. I look at it as a challenge. In business and in life, you get challenges every day. Yeah. And, I love challenges. I would be bored out of my freaking mind if I had the perfect Americana life. Yeah. Cause I like challenges. I like being able to improve things and fix things and talk to people about, and I got my own shit, everybody does. I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. So I feel like that's my purpose. I don't know if I answered it.
You did
in a great way, but
I think you're living your purpose, man. We've talked about it basically the whole show, being a community leader, being a leader in your organization. And, as you described, breaking down complex issues, and being able to deliver them in simple, palatable.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Complex issues these days.
It sounds like you have a similar purpose to the rest of us, man. I appreciate you coming. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate your time. And most importantly, I appreciate your input into making this world a better place and a safer place, preserving our freedoms. Make sure that you smash that like button, subscribe, share. Please share the show. If you made it this far in the show, we're just trying to make a difference. It's important that everyone plays their part. Follow us on all of our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, even the communist TikTok. We're on that thing. And as always, find your purpose, serve your purpose, and protect your purpose, people. Thank you.
Boom! 1, 2, 3.
There it is. Thank you.